When I was in my early 20s, I was working for a huge corporation. And the people that I was working with had been there their entire working careers. Came right out of high school, got a job at this place, and spent their entire working life at this place. And one of the people that was working there while I was there was forced to retire at the age of 65 after 45 years at the same company. His social circle, his life, his very identity was tied up in his job at this place. So he retired, and within a year, he was dead. And the consensus among the people that he worked with for decades was that, well, this guy had no life outside of work, so when his job went away, there went his identity and his whole reason for living, and that, obviously you don't die from that, but that led him down a path that ultimately didn't end well for him. Don't be that guy. I'm not saying don't have friends at work, but definitely have a social circle outside of work, and don't make work your whole identity. You don't want to end up like this. This is the final video in the series, the top 8 lessons after 3 years of retirement. And this is a very important one, and one that a lot of people get wrong. So to help you not get this one wrong, I'm here to give you some pointers and show you what's worked for me so far. And lesson number 8 is having a social outlet in retirement. I'm down here in a small town called Sinchal, on just a little bit in from the coast in southern Ecuador. And in the afternoons, after volunteering, doing work in the morning, usually I just chill out in a hammock. Super easy, very peaceful, relaxing, loving it here. And I've been here about a week and a half, and I need to get down to the coast. Like, I've been here in Ecuador for 2.5 years. I still haven't gone to see this whale watching tour. And I thought, yeah, I'm here. Just force yourself to not go to the hammock and actually go and be sociable and, interact with people and have this fun excursion. So this ties in lesson number 1, prioritize fun in retirement, and lesson number 7, which is to get out and get physical activity every day. And to that end, I made my way down to Ayange and ended up being the necessary fourth on a dive boat of these young Israeli university students. 2 of them were going diving, 1 was going snorkeling, so the whale watching tour was $15. For an extra $5 you could go snorkeling. There's sea turtles, there's fish, and the big attraction was sea lions. And that was fantastic. So we saw the whales. I will put some video at the end of this. And then we went snorkeling while the other people went diving, had a whole day on the boat, got to hang out with these Israeli students and with the boat crew, made some new contacts, had a really fun day, and by the time I got back to the reservation here, I was super happy that I went. Much as I would have liked to have spent the day in a hammock just relaxing, I forced myself, and that's what I find I have to do more and more, force myself to go out and do stuff. So, if you're finding that your couch is super comfortable and you don't want to leave your house, you'd rather sit around and watch TV all day, I would suggest to you to make it a habit at least a couple days a week to get out and get active and hang out with people. These could be new connections. I did a video before I started this series specifically about making social connections in retirement. That was all about meetup.com. So I'll leave a link to that video in the description. This one is more about making connections or reconnecting with people that you used to spend a lot of time with, who are still important to you and who you want to reconnect with. Reach out to them. Reestablish those connections. Maybe it's somebody in your neighborhood. Maybe it's somebody across town. Just make time for these people, because at the end of your life, it's not going to matter where you worked. It's not going to matter how much money you have, how big your house is, what kind of car you drive. At the end of your life, what you're going to be left with is the memories that you created by spending time with the people in your life that were important to you. That's why having a social outlet in retirement is so important, to not become some weird recluse that doesn't go out, that nobody knows. Oh yeah, that's a weird old guy living up there in the house on the hill. Like that was my grandparents. And I thought, why would you do that? You have all the time in the world. Go out and enjoy yourself. Connect with people. Make new connections, either through doing things through Meetup or through volunteering. It's a big part of what I do down here. Or reconnect with people from your past. And having a social outlet in retirement is very much about mental and psychological health. So if you can tie that in, like with this whale watching tour, that's pretty exotic. I'm not going to do that every day, and that might not be an option where you live. But make time for the people in your life that are important to you, and ideally that share interests, so that you can go out and do things that you both enjoy doing together. Get some exercise, have some fun, and keep building those connections. The people who thrive in retirement aren't the ones with the biggest bank accounts or the fanciest or most exotic hobbies. They're the ones who have built and maintained real relationships with people who share their interests. This is what you're going to remember at the end of your life. The memories, the time that you spent with people that were important to you. And in retirement, you have all the time in the world. So definitely make a point of having a social outlet. You get to choose what it is. Maybe it's an activity you enjoy doing with people you enjoy doing that activity with. Maybe it's volunteering. Maybe it's just going for a walk in the park with your neighbor or your friends. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be, some life-altering event or like, wow, this was the most amazing thing I've ever done. Make that time. Commit to getting out at least a few times a week and see what impact that has on your mental and psychological health. That wraps up this series, the top 8 lessons after 3 years of retirement, and a quick overview of those lessons. Lesson number 1, prioritize fun, or have a good time all the time. Lesson number 2, slow down. 3, create and follow an enjoyable daily routine. 4, one of my favorites, learn to say no. 5, pay it forward or service to others, volunteering. 6, finances, make sure you keep an eye on them and you adjust as necessary as the economic climate changes. 7, daily exercise, also known as move it or lose it. And today's, number 8, having a social outlet in retirement. These are the top 8 lessons that I've learned after the last, now 3.5 years I've been retired. Hopefully you identify with some of them. Hopefully they've given you something to think about, some perspective. I would love to hear some of your top lessons if you're retired, or some of your plans for when you are going to be retired. Where do you plan to go? What do you plan to do? How are you going to spend your time? And being aware that there are obstacles like becoming a shut-in, it's very easy to navigate around that. If you know it's coming and you realize, I have all this time, I can build my life into whatever I want to, why not make the rest of my life the best of my life by sharing it with people that are important to me? Thanks for checking out these videos. I'll leave a link in the description to the original video with all of the 8 lessons and another link to the playlist that has these 8 lessons. I suggest taking a look at them. Not saying these are universal lessons, but I am saying come up with your own lessons. What's important to you? What do you plan to do with your retirement? Because it's your call. You can turn it into whatever you want to. But if you don't take the initiative and take control of your retirement and your life and prioritize your activities, doing things you enjoy doing, ideally with people that you enjoy being with, the time's going to pass anyways. Don't get to the end of your life with a ton of regrets thinking, I wish I would have done this, or I should have spent more time with that person. Make it a priority and do it now. Thanks for stopping by. Please check out the other videos on the channel, drop a comment, a like, and share these videos with anybody you think may be interested in them. Peace out, happy trails, see you out on the road. Wow!
The female whale is bigger.
Bigger?
Yeah.
Okay.
15 meters. And the male is 12 meters. And baby is 5 meters.
Wow.